Welcome back to another workshop build video. Today I'm going to be installing a light on the outside of the building. Funny story, I went to Lowe's and I was looking at all the different lights that could be used outside, from wall sconces to motion sensing lights, LEDs, all these different types. While I was there, my friend who's been watching the build series said, hey, I've got another light I would like you to try out. And that is the Cinoton exterior wall light. It's a 26 watt LED light. He's also the fellow that sent the torch light and another light that's above the front door. So anyway, I'm impressed with this thing. Excuse me. Let me show you a close-up of this real quick. Inside the box there were 3 wire nuts, a gasket with peel-off sticky on the back, instructions on how to install it, and then the light itself. This thing is solid metal. Very heavy. I'm impressed with it so far. I actually wired it up and tried it out a couple days back and worked flawlessly. So back here on the back it's got an access panel for all the actual LED components, which I won't have to get into. And then it's got various knockouts back here for whatever need you have to install. So we'll be getting to that in just a minute. It's got 4 screws to take off the plastic cover here. And there is a rubber washer inside, which is great. Down here is an option that if you wanted to install a cord, so you could just plug this up onto a wall outlet, you can do that right there, which is pretty cool. Definitely going to be installing this straight onto the wall though, so I won't need that plug. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then up here is a dusk to dawn sensor, so that when it gets dark out, that will turn on. Now I suppose if I wanted this to be on all the time, I could just put a piece of black tape over that or something, but we're going to try out all the features of this light here today. I figured today that you and I would follow the instructions together and get this light installed. So first of all, it says remove the 4 screws that hold this onto the metal base. Okay, I got the 4 screws removed. I'm just pulling the plastic cover off here. Set that to the side. Next it says to remove the 2 screws that hold this reflective plate here. Okay, got those. It says carefully remove it away from the LEDs there. Set that aside. Now we have access to our wires. Very good. Now, the next step is to knock out the appropriate holes needed. So I'm going to use the center hole here, and also I need at least 2 holes around the outside to get this screwed into the side of the building. So knock out this middle one here. Let's see how well that's going to work. I believe in order to avoid injuring the LED lights up here, I'm going to use these posts as a support. Flip this over, and maybe I can simply tap this middle punch out here with a hammer. Maybe not. Okay, let's try it this way, see what happens. Interesting. Well, I've smacked this thing pretty good on both sides. You can see the gasket has indentions that will be popped out later for various spots in here, but it doesn't seem like these are wanting to pop out like the instructions say that it's supposed to. So that being said, I'm just going to remedy that little issue. By drilling holes through the spots I want. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting those knockouts to be a whole lot easier than that. So definitely something to consider whenever you're doing this for yourself here. Okay, now on the back it says to use this gasket, and you just peel off the back, and there is a notch cut out which will correspond with this corner over here, which is definitely convenient, and that fits in real snug there. So I know that I want to remove this one like that, and then also I probably can remove the others here from this side. Okay, there's that one and that one. Good. Okay, so the gasket is now in place. I think I'm just going to use 2 screws to keep this up there. Should be more than enough. I mean, it's metal but not terribly heavy, so should be good. I've drilled a hole through the wall up here. Definitely could have been a little bigger, but I didn't have tons of time, so I'm going to use a circular box here against the wall, and I want to hammer this into place. Very nice. Might be hard to get to that one, huh? I was actually able to sink a screw into the bottom side of the box, and now it's in there nice. I've got the power turned off to the front of the building here. So I'm just going to stick this wire into the tab over here. Let's go with this one. And that'll allow me to access that over here. I'm going to go ahead and feed the wire through the box here. All right. Now I want to make sure that's nice and flush and level, and then get some screws in here to hold it in place. Nice. Okay. Get the other one in. That's going to stay on quite nice there. Now it's just a matter of using the supplied wire nuts to connect black to black, white to white, and green to the unsheathed here. So now it's just a matter of using these supplied wire nuts to connect black to black, white to white, and green to the unsheathed here. So I'm going to start with the green. Just get that connected real quick. Then I'm going to use some of this electrical tape to make sure this is all put together well, not going to come apart. Now I'm going to replace the white reflector here. Hopefully not drop one of these screws because I will never find them. Okay, got those in. Alright, now I'm going to work on getting the cover back on here, making sure that gasket is in the right spot, which it seems to be. Okay, the light is off, but hopefully whenever I cover up the sensor, it'll turn on. Yep, there it is. Nice. Well, I'm going to come back later on this evening and we'll see how bright this thing is. Well, I've come back out at about 7:30 at night to see how bright the light is, and it is very bright. Impressive. This is 26 watts, and you can see it is just more than enough to work outside here on the ramp in the dark. So very impressed with the brightness of this light. Man, turned off rather cold last night, well below freezing. So my thoughts on the light that was just installed. I'll start with the positives first. 26 watts for an LED is very bright. Typically whenever I film a review video on a light, I have to wait till it's just before dark, so still some sunlight shining through, so that the camera will pick up the light, and I can actually see the ground and stuff. So with this, I waited till it was completely dark and you could see very well. So that's going to be amazing for working outside on the porch at night if I ever have to do that. So that's definitely a plus there. Once the light was installed, wiring was no problem. So that was a very easy task. And really and truly, the taking off those screws was no problem at all. And the gasket seems nice. And I also feel like if you were to put a power cord through the bottom, that would be a very easy task as well. Now, the only real negative I have was those knockouts. The paper said, let's see, knock out appropriate holes around outlet hole in rear housing and apply the gasket to the back surface of the housing. So the instructions make it seem like you just knock out the pieces, but there were no there were no spots on those knockouts that would indicate that it would be a knockout. So I'm not exactly sure if I just was doing it incorrectly or what, but definitely hard to install the light without having those holes knocked out. So had to drill them out, which was inconvenient. But so does the difficulty of installation outweigh the awesome bright light that you get? That's up to you. I thought it wasn't too bad to drill that out, but wasn't inconvenient. So thanks so much for watching this half workshop build video, half review video. I'm Seth Johnson with Land to House. If you've got an idea of how to make that light work better, write that below, and I will see you in the next video.